The inside of a tornado. Only 5 research papers in history have data from in here. And that's why we built this monster. And everything about this vehicle is custom built. The way that it looks, the way it operates, the instruments on it, everything is custom built by us. 5, 4, 3. This is real life Twister. This is the most capable storm chasing vehicle on the planet. This is the Dominator 3. And as you can see, there's plenty of space for sponsors. To study the inside of tornadoes, you can't set up a lab and expect one to come through. So the best way is to build a lab on wheels and park the gear in the path. But if the powerful winds get underneath a vehicle, this can happen, a flip. So that's why we've got this skirt on the bottom here. This skirting has been added across the entire base of the outer armor, and that prevents wind from getting underneath the vehicle. But right here, you can see that there's some space where the wind can get underneath. This is the height that we drive down the highway, but when we get in the path of a tornado, we have a system that lowers the vehicle and drives spikes into the ground. And we're gonna show you that outside in a second. It's this method and the rocket system we'll also show you that have the highest success rate. So up here, check this out. This is the victim of the real problem of a tornado. Hold on, guys. Flying debris. So this is heavy duty plastic. And this was shattered and snapped off by a juniper tree inside that last tornado we intercepted. So that leads us to the armor system on the Dominator 3. This is 3/4 inch steel, and this is what the shell of the Dominator 3 is made of, and we've covered that with this rough surface right here. This is a Kevlar-based polyethylene, basically a bulletproof vest for the Dominator 3, and anything just bounces right off. Woo! Okay. And over here, protecting the lights, is a 1/4 inch polycarbonate plastic that's also bulletproof. And the Dominator 3 has a double window system. We have an inner and an outer one for dual protection from flying debris. So this is a polycarbonate windshield, and look closely and you can see all these little dents. Those are from pebbles moving at speeds of over 150 miles an hour inside of the tornado. Now I'm gonna show you how tough this stuff is. That's tough. Dominator tough. Tornadoes do some weird things, and recording these events helps to verify and guide other researchers' computer models. And that's why we want to maximize our chances of getting great footage. So that's why we've redesigned the entire back end of Dominator 3 and coated every square inch of it with polycarbonate plastic so that you can see up at the tornado, you can see all angles of the tornado in progress and capture that very valuable high-resolution footage. We can also pop the back open, and there's plenty of room for our scientific gear, including our rockets, which I'm going to show you shortly. Also plenty of room for adult diapers, underwear. But under here, these are the muscle and cardio systems of the Dominator 3. When we talk about raising and lowering the vehicle, this is what makes that happen. Listen to them purr. And if you go from the air compressors and follow these lines up here, they go up to our door system. But these doors weigh 800 pounds with all the armor. So if you look up here, we've got this complex valve system to support that weight. And to help you push them open from the inside, yeah, that's our lift system. That helps lift the heavy weight of the door. And these gull-wing doors aren't just for looks. So when we're close to a tornado, we need to look at the sky. But also when you're up close to a tornado, you're very near the hail core. And you could easily get a softball-sized hailstone coming through the sky and hitting you in the head. So these doors raise up and they give us added protection from overhead. While the door's open, you can see the original truck door here, and then you can see all the armor we've added on the outside. Very thick. Another advantage of the gull-wing door system on the Dominator 3 is it fixes a big problem that we found out with the Dominator 1 and 2. So imagine you're out chasing a storm with Team Dominator, and you're out looking at a tornado, and you have to hop in the Dominator fast. All right, we gotta go, guys, we gotta go! Oh no, look at that, we can't go! You actually can't shut the front door until the back one is closed. It's because of how all the heavy armor fits together. So the people in the back might be out panicking, maybe they're going to the bathroom, but this is a big problem right here. But now it's fixed on Dominator 3 with the gull wing lift system. Pinch it off, we gotta go! And the last thing before we jump in is I'm gonna show you the engine underneath all this. Squeak, squeak. Goes the Dominator 3. So the whole reinforced hood of the Dominator 3 comes forward like this, giving us a look at the powerful engine inside. This is a 6.7 liter turbo diesel engine, and this is what drives the 10,000 pound Dominator 3 at highway speeds of over 70 miles an hour. And we can also accelerate very fast. If we have to run from a tornado that's too powerful to intercept, this Power Stroke engine gives us the pick-me-up to get out of a hard spot. And believe it or not, this thing gets about 16 to 17 miles per gallon on highway speeds. And in case we need a pit stop, we get a flat tire, we have these protective flaps that we can lift up and access the wheel. Heavy duty tires, of course. All right, let's step inside the Dominator 3 and show you how we get our data. Yep, eye contact, yep, okay, yep. 3, 2, 1, release. Well, welcome inside the cockpit of Dominator 3. Good to have you. Kind of a standard F350 look from the inside. See some cup holders. You can put your Mountain Dew or energy drink right in here. But you can definitely see a couple things are added. We've got this peak of the armor. The peak of the armor on the hood is designed to funnel the wind up and over the top of the vehicle so that you don't get all this debris just slamming into the windshield. And this is where we're putting our updated live streaming panel because yes, we stream live our tornado intercepts and storm chases as it happens. Watch that left edge! Watch that left edge! Looking in the back, you can see that we removed the bench seats of the Ford F350 and replaced it with 3 additional captain's chairs. We pretty much live inside this vehicle. Comfort is important as well. You guys ready to storm chase? So our research is divided into 2 modes, intercepts and rocket deployments. Intercepts are measurements at the ground level of a tornado with the Dominator. We actually started with super heavy ground probes that we would drop in the path of a tornado. But after having some tornadoes bend away and miss, we decided to turn the whole vehicle into one big probe. That way we can adjust forward and backwards with the tornado right up until the last second. So when we get in the path of the tornado and it's bearing down on us, I press number 1 to drop the vehicle flush to the ground. Bingo, bango, bongo. So now we're flush to the ground, but we want to make sure we're not thrown. So we hit this second switch. The spikes go into the ground about 6 or 8 inches, and that anchors us to the ground when the tornado arrives. Then we go to the outer switch. So we're lowered to the ground, the spikes are in, the windows are up, now we're in full-blown intercept mode. Intercepting a tornado is one of the most intense experiences of your life. The winds feel really powerful, so powerful that even the Dominator is bouncing up and down. They make this really low roar, almost like a freight train or a really loud waterfall like Niagara Falls. The dramatic pressure fall makes it feel like a lot of weight is on the shoulders. Your eardrums are about to burst out. And it happens really fast. Suddenly the sun is coming out, you see the blue sky, you see the tornado moving off in the distance, and you realize that you survived it, and then suddenly you're overwhelmed with happiness. You realize that the Dominator 3 got its job done, and most importantly, we know that we collected some incredible data from inside of the tornado. But as rare and valuable as that data is, it's from the ground level, just like those 4 other research papers. The Holy Grail now is actually getting data above ground level, in the heart of the tornado. It's only been done once, and that's where our rocket research comes in. Team Dominator has spent over 10 years funding different methods trying to get probes inside, but we kept running into one problem. A wall of powerful sinking air surrounding the tornadoes. It would knock our probes out of the sky right before getting inside. But in 2019, we finally settled on a method that would punch through the sinking air. And here is the Team Dominator rocket. Our rocket has 2 main parts, the rocket itself and this right here. This is the Team Dominator Skyfall sensor, custom made by our science lead, Mark Simpson. We're gonna fit this sensor inside the nose cone, we're gonna attach a parachute on it, and we're gonna get ready for launch. We also have a parachute inside of the rocket. It's all ready to go. So you've got the sensor in the nose cone. We're going to stuff the nose cone on, and now we're ready for launch. To launch a rocket, we need to get in the perfect place of the storm, right in the inflow notch of the supercell. That's where all the wind is flowing in toward the tornado, and we need to be at least a quarter mile away from the vortex. There we go. Rocket's attached. So this stop right here is what keeps the rocket in place. So we've got the blast plate. That's needed to give the propulsion necessary to launch. And we have these long rods too, because that stabilizes the flight path early on. And we have the 2 rocket engines. Now I'm just positioning it to connect the igniters to the engine. That's what provides just a little bit of fire in there to ignite the rocket engine. I'm gonna make sure positives on one side and negatives on the other, and they don't touch. This is very intense when you know you have an F4 tornado bearing down on you.
It's gonna stay just to our west.
Mark, am I connected? We now have continuity. I know that the red and the black are connected properly because the continuity lights are on. Can you close your hatch? You gotta stand up and reach out. All right, we are launching in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, so now the rocket is flying toward the tornado. It punches through the pocket of sinking air around the vortex. And once inside, the nose cone pops off and the parachute deploys, and it's carried around inside the vortex, just like the movie Twister. And we've got to get after the rocket. So as the probe is getting carried around inside of the tornado, we're immediately getting live data like this. We've got pressure, relative humidity. We've got IMU acceleration. We've got our GPS position. And we even have the data of exactly how the sensor is tumbling around in 3D. But right now, we're only getting live data at 1 time per second. But we actually have to recover the physical sensor to get the super high resolution data. But for the Lawrence to Linville EF4 tornado, the tornado carried it over 26 miles away from where we launched it. Mark, is the rocket in the tornado right now?
I believe so.
How high is it?
10,000.
10,000? 10,000 feet? No,
Yeah.
no, 10,000 meters.
Yeah.
30,000 feet, guys. And there it is, the yellow. There it is right there, the nose cone. We made it that bright yellow color so you could see it easily. See the nose cone and the parachute. And that is holding the sensor with the valuable data inside. So here it is. The moment of glory here when you retrieve the nose cone. This contains the high resolution data from inside the tornado, the pressure fall, the wind speed, all that 3D information inside, and it's all contained on the sensor in the nose cone. So we're gonna head back to the Team Dominator headquarters and show you the data right now. So here's the actual data, the GPS positions of the rocket launch that we had into the Linwood EF4 tornado. And these are the first ever data points measured above ground inside of a tornado core flow in history. And so each of these are data points measured at a rate of 5 times a second. The red is the actual rocket, and so it was going toward the tornado.